Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to the TSW Network channel. I'm DC Constant, founder of the Successful Wives Network, and we're here to inspire, encourage, and equip women to thrive in marriage, business, and in life. So if you're a wife, a future wife, or simply a woman on a mission, you're in the right place. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to this channel. Thank you to those who have supported our channel via your donations. We appreciate you. Now let's get into it. Hey, successful wives. Welcome to TSW Network, where we elevate wives globally to thrive in marriage, business, and in life. I'm your host, DC Constant, and back by popular demand by wives, we have brought back what men thought Mondays. Yes, the wives want to hear from the men. So, Man Thought Monday, we focus on thought provoking topics around love, leadership, legacy, and the struggles and strengths of modern men today. And my co host is author and minister Johnnie Dent Jr. And today's topic, ladies, is father wounds. We are talking about father wounds. Woo! Father wounds touches deep emotional, spiritual, and identity layers for many, many men today. So, hey, how you doing, JD?
I'm good, Darlene. First of all, I just want to say thank you again for allowing myself and other men to participate in a platform like this where we can have a voice to be heard in a non-judgmental setting. I think this is so awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's just jump in. What is father wounds, JD? What's father wounds?
My understanding of a father's wound, just to give you a quick flashback. I remember when I was going through my chaplaincy training, and one of my educators was listening to me in the group, and the educator said, "Johnny, let me ask you a question. Whose voice do you hear right now?" And he caught me off guard with the question because I was telling him what I could do and what I couldn't do. And I said, wow, I said, I hear my father's voice. And that's when he stopped the class. And afterward, he addressed me in some things. The father's wound is some things that the father may have done for you, to you, or in spite of you that basically still hurts today. That's what wounds are. You either see the scars as remnants of what happened in the affliction, or you
Mhm.
feel them internally inside through aches and pains. And actually, they actually affect you physically too over long term or chronic inflammation.
Ooh. So since you're talking about your dad, can you touch on, if you don't mind sharing with us, what particular father wound you had, how it shaped your manhood, and then how it just shapes other men that may have father wounds, how it shapes just manhood in general.
So, not to speak for him or too much against him, my father embraced society's view of the man, right? John Wayne, the Duke, the guns, um, the bravado with the fighting, um, the appetite for women to a certain degree. These the sports, the combativeness. He embraced that whole idea of manhood, and it's actually good, but we can't trust it because it's given to us by Western society. So what happens is you have a boy like myself who loved to read.
Mm.
My father looks at me, he buy me a book, but then he's like, okay, this guy don't play no sports. He don't box. He don't play football. He don't play basketball. I don't see him around the girls because I'm doing this with a book. to other boys, especially when you're growing up in societies that are socio and economically disadvantaged, that's like a sign you're going to become something else other than this idea man.
Mm,
So I gravitated more towards I like to draw, I like arts, I like to see theaters and see plays and different stuff like that. And so everybody was like, huh, the group like, what's wrong with him?
mm,
I could play football. I was okay at basketball. I loved to fight. I didn't
mm.
like doing it because of the damage, the residual damage, but I love to do that. But that just wasn't my primary thrust or initiative. I simply wanted to be off in the space and I loved to problem solve. So my father, when we I remember we were on punishment one time where we were grounded, we couldn't go anywhere. My father
Mm.
did something that kind of threw me off. He brought some magazines in and some books. The first thing I did was grab those magazines and I'm attached to them. So I think he knew certain things about me, but there was this societal view of what manhood is. And I believe now that he's trying to protect me and just get me on track, get me on that road to manhood, the way that they say the idea that manhood is supposed to be. But men aren't supposed to laugh too much, smile too much, talk too much, voice too much. And we were supposed to be pretty much in control of it.
So first of all, what type of magazines were they? You talking about like comic books?
Comic books,
Okay. I just
no, 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 not them magazines.
I just wanted to
Them
clarify.
did come later though, not from him, but yeah, I found them on my own. So yeah, we good. We good.
Okay, I wanted to clarify because for the people watching.
Yeah,
Um, why is it so? And I hear a lot of men, especially our black men, um, say that men aren't supposed to smile. You're not supposed to do. Where did that come from? Like, what is that? You're not supposed to do
it
anything.
it is a territorial thought process. Smiles mean that you're weak, which
Really?
is why I always smile with my children in this generation, so that they know no, dad isn't mean, dad isn't crazy. Dad smiles. They know that I'm fair but firm. They know when I'm getting ready to uh blow a gasket. They know when dad needs some time to himself. They knew that coming up just by watching me. But
Wow.
again, this is a societal view, and it comes out of the hunter gatherer society. Hunters are supposed to hunt with more nonverbal cues than verbal cues. So at that time, especially the generations that was right before us, we have about two generations that were in war, World War One and World War Two. You follow the commanding officer. You obey your orders. You don't question the authority that's in front of you. To do
Mm,
so, you can get everybody else around killed. Well, you take those guys and you bring them from war and they come back to society and you have no way to deprogram them. That is their thought process. We are
mm,
still at war. Just do what I tell you to do. And Western society did partner with the abuse that men did to women and children. There's no way around it. The reason why I say they partner with it because they did absolutely nothing about it.
mm.
Domestic violence has always existed in some form, but
Yeah.
we used to see the women with the black eyes, the wearing the halo and the collars, the broken jaws, stuff like that. So Western society said, listen, just take that stuff on the inside. As long as you don't kill her, I mean, it's okay. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, now we all pay for that bit of history by what's happening now in the courts. Now it's overdone to where you can't even have a healthy exchange between a male and a female without all of a sudden somebody perceiving it another way, calling the police. I heard they were loud, and now the police comes to the house. And in some states, they say we want both people. Give us both of them instead of just the one, or trying to figure out what happened or what went on.
Ooh. Yeah. Yes. Definitely agree with you because I watched women in my family growing up in the 70s. I mean, like the police could come to the house, but it's like, oh, it's a private matter. They called it a private matter. It's a
Yes.
private matter. Hey, that's that man's wife. We're not getting involved. to,
Yeah.
yeah, and till now it does seem very extreme if a woman just look at a man and feel like whatever and she called the police. It's just like he in jail, or she's believed first all the time. And I'm a woman saying this, that's not the case all the time. It's not. It isn't, because I've grown up on
What?
both sides. So now women can weaponize. I got power now.
Yeah.
Oh, don't let her not be healed. Ah,
Yeah.
I'm getting you back, Johnny, for every Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike that hurt me.
Yeah.
So it has been weaponized. It does get weaponized. It gets weaponized that way. It gets weaponized through the children. You know,
Yes.
no, now you can't see your kids. We didn't work, so now I'm gonna punish you as your role as a father. Because your role as a father versus being my husband or my man, and we didn't make it, has nothing to do with your role being a dad, unless he
Yeah.
was hurting the kids too. But 9 times out of 10, that's not it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I take domestic violence seriously, but I don't. But when you abuse it by lying, because you know the popo coming to take them, because you just got mad about something, that's emotional immaturity. So
Yes.
yeah, because I don't believe in domestic violence, but I don't believe in using it as a weapon to weaponize it either. But okay,
And you know what? The police don't either, which is why they have a problem when they have to go and run to these situations because they're like, okay, we don't know what we're going into.
yeah.
We don't know what we're going into.
Yeah.
It might be two people who just had a disagreement. It might be that one has killed the other person. We don't know. So they're always on the edge when they have to answer those calls.
Yeah, totally agree with that. So so let's talk about, how does a father's presence or absence shape a man's identity, especially as he's growing, developing into relationships, marriage, and fatherhood? Because that all plays a part as well.
It's a great question. So most children that I know, they look around and then they look up, right? Before going to Sunday morning church, most of us sat at the feet of the apostles of Saturday morning cartoons, right? That's how we learned everything, right? With a
Super
cold bowl of
friends.
cereal, right?
Super friends.
In the
Every-
cartoons, these
yeah.
cartoons are doing some stuff. Okay.
Mm,
If you chase me, I'm going to make sure a bomb goes off. Okay. I'm gonna push an anvil on your head. Okay. I'm going to uh, I'm going to switch out and become something else to run past you to make a fool out of you. And then the television goes up and goes off, and the first thing you do is you look up. So who's ever there becomes the teachers. I need to help you sort out what's reality and what's fictional. Usually, that was the time that the father would be home with the children and with the mother, because now we're planning for some event or something to do for that day.
mhm,
Um, so I trust the wisdom of the gods, Darlene. When we bring a child into the world, you are producing hope.
mm,
So imagine you're in a place where everybody is thinking about going somewhere, they have a destination, and you're looking at the people and you're like, okay, who do I go with? If you're a female, you gravitate towards your mom. If you're a male, you gravitate towards your father. If that father isn't there, then the male child will wait or has to wait because the mother say, I'll get to you in a minute. And if you think about it, especially in the structure of our homes, especially when we're divided and broken, the mother will bark orders at the boy. Do this,
mm,
do this, do this. You know how to do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. But the daughters, she's taking time with those daughters. She's preparing their hair. She's laying out their clothes. She's showing them how to sit and stand. Um, and your ideal is, this is who I'm getting ready to become one day. I'm getting ready to become this guy who's not around. Well, this is where parenting, not parenting, but parenting comes in. What did you hear? Faith comes by hearing, What did you hear about the man that brought you into the world and produced you as hope? Well, your father don't want you. Your father ain't never been nothing. Your father ain't never amounted to anything. So I'm watching hope get diminished and crushed, right? I'm
Yep.
listening to it. And I'm still waiting for you to prepare me to go to a destination. The mother is not equipped. I cannot make a woman any more than a female can make a man. I can
Exactly.
I can assist her into becoming a lady, just like a woman can assist a man into becoming a gentleman or a gentler man. How do I
Wait,
learn?
how do they accept how do each opposite sex assist? Because you'll have some women say, no, I was a single mom, I raised my son and he's great, and that is great because a woman cannot raise a man, but that your son probably had watched other men, you know what I mean,
Absolutely,
that he
absolutely,
that he admired, because you're gonna be super mom all day long. So
absolutely.
how does she assist? Does she assist by surrounding him with other positive male role models, and does that father assist by, showing his daughter, talking to his daughter? How does that assist work? Give
So,
some.
and again, back to the sitcoms. There's our perception and there's really what happened, right? So in the sitcoms, the two parties involved tell the story from their point of view, and then there's somebody sitting on the sideline saying, "No, y'all both stretching the truth. I'm going to tell the story." So um, the father will say to that son, "Hey, son, this is what you need to do to talk to females or something like that." And then the mother say, "You ain't got to do all that. That part I don't agree with." And then she'll say, "Son, here, let me help you. This is how you do this." And the mother will accessorize. You need to wear your collar a certain kind of way. You need to approach her and be on this side of the idea in scripture. The For this cause, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife as one flesh. Leaves the father first. He's been in that institution first. Then the mother looks at him, signs off on him. Okay, boy, you got it together. Now you prepare for this wife. We do it a different way when we get married. We we have the father giving away the bride from the father's hands to the groom's hands. But that's with the idea that she has been prepared. I put my instruction in her, but this is after she's come from the mom. She had to go to the school of mom first. And daddy signs off on, that dress a little high, girl. You're showing a little too much. And then I'm gonna hand you off to society. So we're all partners in this at some level. And we all have to accept responsibility for what goes right and what goes wrong with our children. There's just no way
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah.
But how do I learn problem solving? I'm looking for two parties that I love or that I came from. We know they agreed on something at least once because I'm here.
Right.
So how did you problem solve? Um, how do I treat those of the opposite sex? Because I'm hearing about my daddy through the parents, not parenting, but parents.
Mhm.
How is it when I have no mirrors around and all the mirrors are broken in the house? How do I know what I look like? Because the father's gonna say, son, you look really good. You look nice. You got this structure. You probably should have wore the pants that are tailored versus the ones that you just decided to put on. I probably would do the tailor ones. The mother is gonna come in and say, wow, you look really nice. But that's because the father has endorsed him and sent him on. I look good outside of mirrors because someone has told me that I look good, and they built my confidence and they reassured me that I'm okay. Reverse the roles a little bit, Darlene. During those critical times, when puberty and biology sets in with females, and the female is starting to blossom, certain things about her as far as breasts and as far as the acne kicks in, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The father has to say, "Baby, you're still pretty. Here, kiss her. You're gonna be okay. Forget them children at school. They jealous of you." If that father is not around and she's watching her peer group, and they're running down her. Oh my God, look at your clothes. You don't even dress right. You don't look right. Then that father is not around, and now she accepts society's views. And the number one reason that our children are lured away by predators online and offline, in the home and outside of the home, is rebellion. It's
Yep.
reassurance.
Yep.
Girl, you look good. Oh, they don't understand you. You're more mature than you really are. So naturally, because children look up, because children like, who am I gonna become? They look
Mm,
up and they're looking around for the two people that are most influential and who
mm.
brought them into this world.
Yeah, that is true. And working in case management, you're absolutely right. The
Oh,
in terms of being lured is the rebellion, not feeling love, all I
yes,
mean, all those things.
yes.
All those things. All those things. So I want to segue into um what does for a man, um what ways, well, two questions. Do men realize, like when you become a man now, do you realize how deeply unresolved father issues affect you? And do you realize, and when I say affect you, like through anger, it may manifest itself in anger, perfectionist, being a perfectionist, people pleasing. Do most men, so I'm talking now, you're not a little boy, you're grown up, but it's unresolved. Do most men know that? Because I hear a lot of women, he need to be healed, he need to be healed. But what does that look like from a male perspective, him being unhealed? Does he understand that he needs to be healed and how all of that is playing out in his life as an adult?
Okay, so again, being from that Saturday morning cartoon generation, right? We problem solve by what we see. And so the idea, remember the old fuse boxes used to have the fuses in it? Every
Mhm.
now and then you see a penny inside that fuse box. The fuse box was designed to get a replacement fuse. The penny was never supposed to be there because what it does is it puts the entire house at danger through electricity, and eventually it causes fires, right? But we grab from what's there. We
Mhm.
grab from what's there. Most males that become men grow up with the idea that I have to handle it all. I have to take care of it all. I have to protect it all. So, who wants to grow up and say, I'm emotionally damaged? I'm weak. I'm
Mm.
just one of the saddest cases you can ever see. Because number one, the person that you want to partner with in your existence called life, they're looking for somebody to be a compliment to them. So when I mention that to you, it's not good goods for sale. It's like that job interview. You don't go in, hey, that question they asked you, Darlene, what happened with you and your last employer? You know
Mm.
what? I hated that so and so. And I went to knock him out. And I remember stepping up to him in the bar one time. Yeah, and I was about to box him. No, you don't say that. You say, well, we agreed to disagree. And there was some mismanagement because you want to get hired. You butter the bread going in, right? You butter it. But Darlene, the truth of it is, we are all surviving our broken pieces. We all need some form of healing. And that's why the master teacher, he said, will thou be made whole? Do I have permission to make you whole? Because I don't want to waste my resources. There's some people here that really want this. And if we talk marriage, when we discuss marriage, marriage is mission based. It's mission based. So when you sign up for the mission, you're not going to say, I'm not prepared for the mission. In the armies and our resources, we
Mhm.
we we have a process where we weed out the people who are just not fit for service. Now we don't tell some people are fit not unfit for life. They're unfit for life, but there are others through some plus and minuses, some things they can do that they can always get better, and they can come back later on and reapply. Who wants to say I am messed up?
but at some point we have to. We
Oh,
have to. So if you're an unhealed, because and I know we all, but since we're speaking about father wounds and talking about men, at some point you have to say to yourself,
well, Darlene,
this
you,
isn't working.
you know where it shows up? When the police is always taking you to jail.
Mm,
When your child support is unpaid. I mean, you haven't made any strides to pay your child support. That means you want nothing to do with her or the child. It shows up in all kinds of ways. Family events where you isolate yourselves. It shows up in addiction. It shows up indirectly in mental health settings. It'll show up because the body always keeps score. Always.
oh, absolutely. It's always going to manifest itself
Yes.
in something. So each individual have to come to their own terms. Each man has to come to their own terms, and that everybody is different in terms of when they say, you know what, I do need help. Why why is it difficult for some men, not all, to say I need help? Is it
Because
again that conditioning in society?
we are taught not to need help. If you ask for help, you are saying I'm weak, I'm vulnerable, I'm inept. In some cases, I'm impotent. Okay, how do you talk to a guy of, hey man, I'm going through something, I'm impotent? How do you say, hey man, my boy, I want you to know? And the guy like, oh yeah, with your fine wife, y'all ain't doing nothing, huh? Okay, no man, I don't know, bro, you on your own. How do you say that to another person? How do you say I'm not producing? How do you say I'm unmotivated? How do you say I'm not making the grade to another person whose whole idea is to divide, conquer, compete, control? How do you
You
say that?
said you said to a licensed therapist, then. That's who
There
you
you
said.
go.
You said to a licensed therapist.
I got you. Yep.
That's who
Yep.
you.
You do have to say it to somebody.
Yeah, it's because it's gonna come up and out. It has to release itself.
And when it releases in an untrained environment, it is always detrimental to the relationship that is in front of you. Whether it's your children, whether it's your spouse, you will always see it manifest itself.
So how can uh uh before I ask this question, because women will be watching and I don't need them to be triggered because I'm not talking about coddling, okay? I'm not talking about coddling a man.
So sound like you got some people that say some stuff. All right.
That's why I preface it like that, because when you're not healed, you hear differently. You hear through your wounds. You hear through wounds instead of actually hearing the question.
And
And
Darlene, to add to that, when you're hurting, everything hurts.
yes,
Help
ye-
hurts.
yes,
Healing hurts. Somebody get offering you something. You looking at them sideways, like, what are you saying when you say that? No, you look hungry. You want some food? You know.
right.
But go ahead.
So my question is, how can women, and when I mean women, I mean wives, your the man's significant other, mothers who haven't hurt him, um, and other mentors, how can they create a safe place? So let's say he can't get to the licensed therapist, but it should be one woman in his life that will create a safe space for him to be vulnerable. And again, I'm not talking about the man who manipulated you. I'm not talking about the manipulator. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a man who really would like to be able to share and not have his words weaponized against him. So how, as you being a man, how can women create that safe space for him to be vulnerable and that woman won't weaponize it against them?
So women have to understand, number one, you are between you and my children, you are as safe as it's going to get. So if I share something with you, ask me how I'm doing, what's going on. I'm going to share where I'm wounded. I'm going to share to you that it hurts me. As a male, I might even cry. What happens, Darlene, after that is some women will bring it up in the argument.
Mm.
That's why your daddy did you like that. That's why you all messed up about your mama. That's why when you hear that,
It's a wrap.
you will never share anything with her again in that intimate space.
Yeah,
All people are privy to it, and especially at the beginning of the relationship, I'm going to share with you what happened to me, what's going on. But if you ever hear it again, and that goes both ways in an argument,
yeah,
you will never enter into that space. You will never remove that veil again.
yeah. I share that with women because you know, I know some women close to me that have done that in their marriage, and they've been married a long time. And I had to share that with them, like, once that space um is broken, I don't care how great your I don't care how much he blow your back out. You have to understand, for a man, him blowing your back out and something intimate, is that those are two totally different things with men. Because women's most women, not all, most women problems is they think that men think like us, and you don't.
No.
And that's the problem. So you really don't understand how you broke his trust, and he could be married to you for 20 years. He will never ever share anything intimate with you again. And a lot of women that I know, they mistake that for, oh, because we had great sex, because he put it down in the bedroom, and that means nothing. That is what it was. It was great, but you, that part of his heart, you will never get it again. And I think that's really sad for a lot of men, because guess what, sis? Whether you know it or not, he's sharing it with some other female. I'm not saying he's sleeping with that other female, but that part of him, he's sharing it with somebody. And the fact that he can't share it with you because you lack maturity, you lack emotional maturity,
Mhm.
it's really sad. It's really sad.
So my home is supposed to be the safest space for me on earth.
Absolutely.
It's
Abs-
supposed to be sanctuary.
absolutely.
When I should not be sitting at the end of the driveway, sitting in my car wondering what's this gonna be today. What's gonna happen when I go in here now? What group of problems am I going to be handed when I get home?
Yeah.
Not saying that you can't problem solve within the home. I'm just saying we need time to decompress.
Of course. Yes.
And
Absolutely.
just like women do.
Yeah.
Women, remember that's again Saturday morning cartoons. That woman during the rest of the week, she had a time of the week where you would hear that music come on and she'd say, okay, nap time. Why? Because my stories was coming on. Okay.
Yep.
My story, that's it. I don't want to hear nothing about my stories going on. Okay. Or if y'all can promise me y'all gonna be quiet, y'all can stay up.
Mhm.
She had that time to decompress. That was her
Yeah.
time period.
Yeah. And
Men need the exact same thing. When you and I come from outside, we just came from war.
yes. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't want to see nothing that looks like war. I don't want to hear nothing that
Wow. Like a
resemble
word.
war. Nothing. I don't even want you playing in war paint. I just don't.
Yeah.
Come on, let me collect myself
No,
because that's why I'm here.
absolutely.
What?
And I'm gonna say this for the women who maybe at home, like stay at home wives, stay at home moms, and the real MVPs. I was a stay at home mom, and I stayed at home for till our daughter went to kindergarten. And that's something we decided before I even got pregnant. You know,
Yes.
we had a whole conversation about it. So one of the things that I found, because when you were a stay-at-home mom, well, that our baby is 27. So that was 27 years ago. Now today they got mommy groups and stuff like that. It's totally different today. But
Right.
one of the things, when you have a child and you married, now your marriage is going into a different season, you know. And so for me, like, I love staying at home. I taught my child, our daughter, how to read and all of that. But you still want adult. stimulation. So that's one of the things I had to learn, is that when he came home from work, that I wasn't so quick to be like we was glad daddy was home, daddy home, da da da. But it's
You
just
you
like,
ran
oh,
you
let me,
ran to the door like Wilma Flintstone and all them.
yeah,
Okay.
especially Amber, because she had been with me all day. So, oh, daddy
Right, right,
home.
right, right.
So I just wanted to be so excited to share. Oh, this is what I did. This is what we did today. But I had to learn. I was like, oh, he need a minute. He need a minute to decompress. So I learned that earlier on after I had the baby and everything. And give him an hour, give him 30, 45, give him an hour to decompress. Cause my husband's all out hands on dad. Like, if anything, they'd be like, well, what was you doing, Darlene? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he come home, decompress, get the baby and stuff like that. But you guys do need to decompress. I had to learn that. I didn't understand that. It was like, well, I've been here all day. So yeah, you came home. So let me tell you
My
all
time.
these,
My
yeah,
time.
and let me tell you all the stuff that I did. And that it was just like, so learning that balance, because I'm a new mom and all of that. So it is very important. It's very important. And another thing is, one thing I'm glad my husband ain't never sat in the car when he came home. The way our home is, you want your man to want to come home. You don't want him to be like, let me stop off at the bar for about an hour. Like, I don't want that. Like, and that's different from, he can have his time. I'm talking about not wanting to come home because he don't want to come home to be with you. That's what I'm talking about.
And it's okay.
Yeah, if he stop off and want to go somewhere, let it be because that's what he want to do, but not because he don't want to come home because it's war at home. That's what I'm saying. Driving up in the driveway and you sitting out in the garage for 30 minutes. I'm like, I'll be like, oh my God, okay. I
What
mean,
did I do?
yeah, I'll be like that. I've heard about that, but I've never experienced that. So it's just
let
like,
me let me
oh,
give one exception though. Exception to the rule if he is on a in a conversation that he's trying to not he doesn't want the whole house to know about, and he's listening
yes.
to that conversation because it's not always bad for him to sit at the end of the driveway. It's courtesy, right? Because you don't want to be
Mhm.
loud and walking into the house.
Hmm.
But yeah, he do, and that may be a form of decompressing too. But Darlene, you know, back to this father's wounding, and I'm not kind of funny about statistics because I study in it just like you have. But here's some things that have come out of the National Center for Fathering and fatherless generation. 85% of youth in prison come from fatherless homes.
Mm.
71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 90% of all homelessness and runaway children are from the fatherless home. Nearly 25 million children live without their biological father. 60% of youth suicides are from the fatherless homes. So causation is not correlation is not causation and correlation are not the same things. We're not saying that the lack of having the father there causes this, but what they are saying is you might want to consider having another person right there to walk beside that child with you. No one child entered into the world and the responsibility was solely on one parent.
I
This
agree.
this
I
is where good mentoring come in. This is where the relationships with your uncles come in, cousins that you look up to, and unfortunately, we have to screen them as well.
Yeah,
But I will say this: we are missing what men are missing, especially in the relationships with their children, is the ability to take them away from the village and take them through a process and bring them back and say, ta-da, here's a man. The mothers are sitting on the sidelines and looking at things that are strictly and uniquely, we tailor it to males to help prepare them for manhood. And they're like, oh my God, you going through that? Don't do my boy like that. So now this little boy comes in and he's getting all the ointment and stuff on him from his mama, and you never have to be around them again. And those mean guys. And before you know it, you got this emotionally charged young man standing over the mother, yelling at her, telling her what she is and she not. And now the village really can't do anything about it because he's outgrown the process. And now you have to go into really harming this boy or this young man to get him to understand that his behavior is unacceptable. So you have to have a village that you trust. I always call it a council of elders. Who are the men around that you respect and you trust to just do a few things with your sons? Um,
And
not,
stay out the way too, though. But she
and that's my
you
point.
have to stay out
Let
the
the
way.
village have him. Let the
Yeah,
village have
stay
him.
out the way. Stay out the
I don't want him playing football. He gonna get hurt. He can get hurt walking to the store, getting on the school bus. I mean, he's going to get hurt at some point. You can't put all this padding on this boy and expect him to have healthy standards of manhood if you, like you said earlier, coddled him all his life.
Yeah. And I use the word coddle because being in social services for 20 years, I saw that a lot. I mean, all the kids on my caseload came from single parenting homes, and it was just a lot of coddling. And then here it is, I'm their case manager, and I'm another, woman that's in their life. They got super mom, they got super auntie, they got super grandma, but they did need that. They did need that man to teach them the things that the woman cannot do. And so yeah, I would say to women, if you find that male mentor for your son, let the process do what the process does. Because as
Yes,
women,
yes,
we do.
yes,
I mean, because as women, because even we parent different. We do because we women. God made us like that. It's different. We will be quick to be like, that's my baby, and that's always my baby, and I'm going to war for my baby, and I will punch you in your face about my baby. Why you talk to my baby like that? But you have to understand he's a young man and you want to raise an emotional, stable young man. And so that's why, on social media is just all these different wars. And my heart hurts when I just you seeing all this hate towards men, especially our men. And that breaks my heart because I'm like, y'all, you talking about men being emotional and they being boys. Who raised them?
yeah,
72% of children are born out of wedlock, and
yes,
they
yes.
come from single. You can't coddle, and then when they get grown,
He gonna be asking for bail money. He gonna be saying, "Ma, can you put some money on the books?" Okay. I always say, especially with males, teach him what to do with his hands, teach him what to do with his voice, and teach him what to do with his posture. Because everything communicates something. And
yes,
if I can steer you in a direction with those three things, more than likely you'll stay out of trouble. Um, but we do have to turn our boys over to the process because, far as I know, Darlene, you got this child, this boy, from sleeping with a man. Shocker, huh? So, so you clearly need men in this process to help him become a man. Just makes sense to me.
oh gosh. So how about I want to since we're talking about the statistics, right? How can a father out there uh what would you say to a father that needs to refather his son? And
Mm,
what I mean is, how can he begin the healing process of coming back? I don't know what the situation may have been, but is that difficult? Like, just maybe people you've even mentored or had to minister to. What does reconciliation looks like for a father and his children?
in an unhealthy relationship, um, we had to understand the first primary thing is safety, right? Safety. Um, for me and you to have a relationship, you have to understand that the relationship is just going to be between you, myself, and you. That's it. And you're not there to. It's funny because the way I was taught, and now I know why I was taught that way, but I was taught I couldn't say anything bad about my father. Good philosophy because I
Wait,
employed
wait,
it.
wait, wait. You were taught that you couldn't say anything bad about your dad?
No,
That's shocker to me because society says we can't talk about deadbeat mamas.
yeah, yeah. But I was taught I
You
could
can
say
talk
nothing
about your
wrong.
mother, but you can say anything about dads. Why?
My mother is she was one of the mothers that did not allow any of us to say anything about our father. Okay.
Good job, mom.
My father thought my mother used to run him down. She didn't. He always was kind of like the gold standard. Um, so there's a story in place. And for a lot of years, I lived out of the story that he was the gold standard. And then unfortunately, the closer you get to someone, the more you start seeing things like uh, ethical behavior,
Mhm.
behaviors, ethical and unethical. There's certain things that fit you and certain things that just don't fit you. So what I tell people all the time is that number one, reconciliation and romance are not the same thing. Romance is something that we create. Reconciliation requires participation. Is
Mhm.
that father willing and is that child willing to participate in this attempt at healing? Part A and part B have to fully understand the terms.
Yeah.
Remember, Saturday morning cartoon. Okay, there's a person who gets a part in the movie, and all of a sudden they're excited about the part of the movie, and they're waiting to jump in on that part, and all of a sudden, Darlene, they say, "Okay, cut. All right, double." Double comes in. The double
Yep.
is getting knocked all upside their head, bullet wounds, knife wounds, and you just like, wait a minute. I thought I was gonna be in. Well, you're gonna be in the movie, but you the stunt double, so you taking all this mess. You have to tell yourself, based on reconciliation, I'm not gonna be the stunt double.
Mm.
We both gonna be stars in this. So this ain't in a walk I'm getting ready to take to beat you up, and you surely not gonna beat me up. And you're not here, you're not going to re-raise me. You can
Mm.
correct some narratives if the
Okay.
rule is in place that I always say don't talk about the other parent because that child is at least 50% of the other parent, 50% mom,
Yeah.
50% dad. So if you talk about the parent, you are actually talking about the child, unless it's something they want to know, right? So this idea that it can be euphoric, Hollywoodian, this hallmark view of the son and father relationship. Andy Griffin sitting there with Opie Taylor, and he's like, "Oh, Opie, you chopped the tree down, boy. Did you do it or not?" "Yes, father, I did it." "Well, Opie, you do know that you should be punished for that, but because you told the truth." No, no, life don't work like that. Life don't work like not in my world. Find the space for gratitude because again, they agreed to something because you here. Be grateful for that. Life does not always present us with fairness, but there are many ways to be grateful and testify. Leave the bones where they buried and walk into your healing. That's how you heal.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think each child deserves to know the other story.
Oh,
Because
definitely. You need both folks. Yeah.
again, me being a was once a case manager, the child always just heard the mom side, and I'm a firm believer in asking the why question so you can make critical decisions. So because you just heard all this from your mom,
Yeah.
and she's coming from the relationship they had. So okay, and then even if she's telling the truth, well, he ain't support true, he ain't do this, he ain't do that. If I'm the child, I still want to hear my dad's side. I still want to hear the other side. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
definitely.
Other side. Because again, to me, talking about the other parent, I like that you said you actually talking about the other half of your child, and you're really talking about yourself and the decision you made.
Yeah.
So why does the child have to go through that? You dogging the other parent, whether that's the single dad talking about the mom or the mom talking about the father. Again, such low hanging fruit mentality. It's so it isn't mature at all. That's a lot of anger and bitterness, but it's
And then,
affecting the child.
Darlene, to add to that, I mean, you are designed to be better than your parents. Now, some of them don't like it, but you're the blueprint. You're the foundation, and from the blueprint, you become the foundation of who they are, who they are to become. So if you can't, you're designed to be better than him, and if you can't be better, then be better off.
But we should all want our children to
Uh,
be better off. We should always
uh,
want the next generation.
you'd
Like,
be surprised. You'd be surprised.
I've seen parents jealous of their children, and I'm
Yeah.
like baffled by that. I'm like, I'm like, that's you. That's your legacy. That's part of you. That's your seed. Why
Yeah.
would you be jealous? How you jealous of your own seed? That seed came out of you.
Right. And
It,
the other,
it's real simple to me, but I don't understand how people can be jealous because this is a representation of you, dog. How you can
yes,
be jealous of your daughter? How you can be jealous of your son? And that's your
which is which is why some of those people who become very successful, they shut the door on their parents. Like, no, don't show up now. Um, you know,
if we see that with athletes, right? We saw that
all
with
the time. They're like, nah, I know I'm getting that check, but nah.
right. We see that all the time with Shaq, LeBron. Like, nah, and you can't blame them. You can't blame them. Can't blame them.
You know what I mean? Look at it this way. Our scripture don't start off our mother. Our mother, who are they? They're like, no, our father.
Father.
Obviously, God knew that this was going to be a major issue, especially since he addressed it in Malachi and talked about sending the curse on the earth if we don't reconcile. So we do have to reconcile. We had this great big old million man march. Million man march.
Yeah, that was an awesome march.
Fathers and sons should have met in that particular platform in front of the entire world and simply said, I'm sorry, let's go from here. But again, it didn't happen. But you don't have to be in France to learn French. If you want healing, it's all kinds of resources available for you to start. And what's good about it is you can even do it like Nicodemus. You can do it at night. You can do it when nobody's seeing you read your books or listening to your audio tapes or going to therapy because people got their own stuff going on.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
This is so. What does, as we wrap up, what does healthy healing looks like when you move past father rooms? I hate. I don't like using the word get over it. We so such a get over it
You can't
kind of
just get
talk.
over it.
No, but
You want me to get over abuse? No.
yeah, and that's not
Abandonment, abuse.
how do we move past what happened for healing for ourselves? Like, what does that look like? What does healthy fatherhood look like?
I mean, you know what? You know when somebody trying to really reconcile with you. You know you can tell when people are making attempts towards you to
Yeah,
have a better relationship. But
yeah,
you ever been in a mall or a social setting where you see on that map it says you are here?
yes,
Both parties have to realize we're here. We're right here. What can we do from here to have a better relationship or even some form of relationship? Don't have a relationship because society told you you have to have it.
I agree,
Have a relationship and attempt that relationship because you actually need it
and want it.
and want it. Yes. And you have to respect the person, whether the person is a phenomenal person or a monster in front of you. Because at some point you partner in creating what's in front of you. And so okay, we just need to find a way to tone the monster down. You don't need them fangs by day. Okay. You ain't got to be angry. You ain't got to be tight-lipped. You ain't got to carry your gun all the time. This is my bathroom. The bathroom down the hall. Get you some chips and dips, and just talk about life and just enjoying life from this point on. The
Yeah.
father and the son both have to declare the war is over, and not the mother sitting around. Well, you went over his house. What did he say to you? What did he tell you about me? Man, he ain't really thinking about you, man. It was about me and him.
It's been 20 years, Mom.
20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You'd be surprised how many people I see laying in that bed, Darlene, and this is all they think about the trauma that's been involved in this. But I don't necessarily advocate for anybody to have a relationship because somebody else told them you have to have this relationship. Look, I come from playing spades, and I either got it, I got them spades, or I don't. There's no way to get them once that hand has been dealt. And rather than me penalizing myself for not having, I'm just gonna play with the partner that's across from me, and we still trying to figure out how to win.
So since you don't advocate, I mean, because it depends,
I,
because
I don't force feed
don't,
relationships.
right, you don't force feed relationships. So is it fine if someone, because I agree with that, but for healing, for the wounds to become a scar instead of being open, is it fine? I can forgive, but I necessarily don't need to feel like I have to have a relationship with you. I don't necessarily feel like um you need access. And that's still healthy too, because it's for your peace of mind.
That is so true, Darlene. I always say when Jesus discussed love, he never mentions proximity.
Proximity. Never.
You ain't got to be at all my sets. We ain't got to be around each other. I can love you from a distance, and you should be well with that because I'm gonna be
Yeah.
right. But the relationships that we all have to take responsibility for the way the relationships are. Um, our relationships are by design, and that's what I tell everybody. If you're expecting your child to just walk through the door and say, "Oh, Father, I've been looking for you for a million years," I mean, that's that TV stuff. Same thing. The father to walk in, hey, son, I just want to come, see how you're doing. From the long life of being working on the railroads, those days are over. But somebody has to be responsible enough and say, look, can we start from here? This is where we are. We are here. Can we start from here and just go forward?
And go for
But
it.
if it holds value to you, if it doesn't, then that's okay.
And that's okay too. Love that. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Johnny. This has been
Absolutely.
awesome. Father Rooms. And guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Have you experienced father wounds? Are you healed? Are you still seeking a relationship with your father? If you are you married? Can you see how this may affect your marriage? So let us know in the comments. Drop in the comments. This has been awesome. I appreciate you, Johnny. And we will be back next week with another Man Thought Monday. We're gonna be rapping with a fresh new topic. And so thank you guys. And don't forget to follow us on all platforms, TSW Network. Until the next time, God bless and be good. Bye bye.